Okay, now we are doing the next part that is in relation to um, AGM. Okay, so AGM के केस में what have they said? Now we are doing the second set from section number 96 to 110. देखते हैं इसको अच्छे से start से लेकर end तक every provision we'll see quickly. Okay, this is a quick recap, quick revision session. Let's start. Whenever the company gets incorporated, that year of incorporation में there is no need of AGM. No need of AGM in the year of incorporation. The company's first AGM has to be there within 9 months from the first year ending. So from the first year ending, within 9 months, company's AGM should be there. This is the first AGM. So let's say we have kept the AGM on 12th of May 2024. That is when let's say we are keeping the first AGM of the company. Sir, company का subsequent AGM कैसे होगा यहाँ पे? So they have said that subsequent AGM के लिए उन्होंने 3 days दिया. You have to see तीनों में से whichever is earliest. First they have said is once in a calendar year you have to keep the meeting. You have to keep 6 months from the end of the financial year and 15 months from the last AGM. इसमें से whichever is earlier you will keep the AGM on or before that date. अभी ये जो कैलकुलेशन है यहाँ पे सर 6 months from the financial year is very simple to calculate because you have to just take 30th September of the coming in the next financial year. So if your year ending is 31st March 2024, so 6 months from the financial year will be 30th of September 2020. Sorry, 30th of my mistake. Sorry, one second. If your year ending is 31st March 2025, then your 6 months ending will be 30th of September 2025. इस तरीके से आएगा. But that 15 months calculation, you have to be very careful there. Okay, so in that I taught you the trick of -1 +3 +1. तो अगर यहाँ पे डेट में 1 के अलावा कोई और नंबर है, so from 2 to 31 some number is there in date, and month is not 10 11 12, month is not 10 11 12. This is what we call vanilla case. In vanilla case you will understand that you have to take -1 +3 +1. The second situation was when date has 1 and the month doesn't have 10 11 12. In that case you have to do one जो date के नीचे दो cross, then you have to take -1 +3 +1. month में आएगा -1 +3 और year में आएगा +1. This we had done a lot of examples in the class. केस 3 ऐसा आएगा यहाँ पे कि अगर आपके डेट में 1 नहीं है लेकिन मंथ में 10 11 12 है, in that case you will take -1 +3 +1 +1. और फोर्थ के जैसा आएगा कि अगर आपका डेट में 1 है एंड मंथ में 10 11 12 में से कोई डेट है, कोई मंथ है, in that case you will take -1 +3 +1 +1. -1 तो 1 के नीचे क्रॉस आएगा, सॉरी बेसिकली 1 के नीचे क्रॉस, देन -1 +3 +1 +1. इस तरीके से आएगा मैटर. नाउ एक स्पेशल केस है विच वी डिड इन द क्लास, दैट वाज 1st of October. अगर 1st of October अगर आ गया, देन यू हैव टू ट्रीट इट एज इफ इट इज केस नंबर केस 2 है वो, वैसे से मान के चलो. दैट इज यू हैव टू टेक पुट अ क्रॉस बिलो 1, देन यू राइट दैट -1 +3 +1. ये है सिर्फ 1st October के लिए. 1st October इज अ यूनिक डेट बिकॉज अगर आप उसका कैलकुलेशन करोगे 15 मंथ्स का, तो अपने टेक्निक में यू हैव टू मेक द स्मॉल एडजस्टमेंट फॉर दैट डेट ओनली. Rest all the cases fit perfectly as per our technique. Okay, so for quickly getting the answer in the examination, this mechanical approach really helps you a lot. Okay, let's go to the next part here. Let's see this. Sir, अगर AGM हमने कोई डेट पे रखा है, then can we extend the AGM? So see, for the first AGM, you can only keep it up to 31st December of the year. That is 9 months from 30th of March. 31st of March will be 31st December of the year. So अगर आपका फर्स्ट एजीएम अगर आप 31 दिसंबर तक रखते हो यहाँ पे, then it is great. But can you, if you don't keep, can you go and ask for an extension? The answer is no. So if no AGM till end of 9 months, then you cannot ask for any kind of extension. For second and subsequent AGM, what they have said is, अगर जो AGM डेट आपका आ गया, let's say in this case, अगर आपका जो ये जो 3 डेट्स मिले अपने को 31st दिसंबर, 30th सितंबर और 11th of August, whichever is earlier. 11th of August is 15 months from the end of the last AGM. Last AGM was, if you see, 12th of May 2024. उससे 15 months कैलकुलेट करोगे तो 11th of August आएगा. अगर आपने AGM रखना है यहाँ पे, so it should be 11th of August के दिन या उसके पहले. You have to keep the AGM for the year 24-25. I hope you understand. For the year 24-25, you have to keep the AGM. You have to keep it on or before 11th of August. But अगर आप वोट दिन पे रख नहीं पाते हो then यहाँ पे, then in that case you can approach the ROC and seek an extension from the ROC of maximum 3 months if AGM is not held on or before that date. Agar we there, yes or no? Okay. AGM can be conducted on a national holiday, that is 26 Jan. Sorry, cannot be conducted. My mistake. cannot be conducted on a national holiday, that is 26 Jan, 15th August, 2nd October, नहीं conduct कर सकता. AGM can be conducted on a Sunday, no problem. एक और चीज़ है, AGM का टाइमिंग रहेगा 9 AM to 6 PM. And one more last point, unlisted public company, if all their members agree, can keep the AGM anywhere in India. But for any other normal company, AGM will be kept at the registered office of the company or any other place in the city, town or village where registered office of the company is situated. Okay, easy to understand this. Can we go ahead? That completes the section number 96. 97, 98, 99 बहुत ही easy था. We'll wrap it up here only. 97 में ऐसा था, यहाँ पे default of AGM, अगर default of AGM होगा तो members can apply to the tribunal and the tribunal will then direct the company, give directions to the company कि आगे करना क्या. Section 98 था, impractical to conduct a meeting other than AGM. If it is impractical to call a meeting which is necessary, but we are not able to call the meeting, so impractical to call a meeting other than AGM. In that case, the tribunal can suo moto look into the matter, suo moto they can look into the matter, that is on its own, or any director can make an application to the tribunal, or any member can make an application to the tribunal, and the tribunal will then give directions to the company regarding what should be the further course of action. अगर कंपनी ने सेक्शन नंबर 97, 98, 90 सॉरी सेक्शन नंबर 96, 97, 98 फॉलो नहीं किया, then penalty for the company is under section number 99. Penalty is for the company and officer in default, the penalty is 1 lakh plus 5,000 rupees per day. इस तरह से penalty दिया हुआ है. Now this is the section number 99. आ जाओ section number 100 में, very simple section, nice section also. EGM. First of all, who can call the EGM of the company? EGM can be called by the board of directors or any requisition received by the requisitionist. The requisitionist will send the requisition and will be sent to the registered office of the company. Company having share capital, 10% of the paid capital, the requisitionist should hold. Company not having share capital, requisitionist should hold 10% of the total voting power. If the requisitionists have given a requisition to the company should call a meeting, that is send an invitation within 21 days. And in the 21 days, if they call the meeting, they have to also conduct the meeting within 45 days. If the company fails to call the meeting within 21 days, in that case, the requisitionist gets the power to themselves call the meeting within 3 months. Okay. All the date that you see here, 21 days, 45 days, 3 months, is from the date of receipt of requisition. Simple. Read this important para with me. Meeting should be held in India. However, for a company in India, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India, so एक foreign company है, foreign company का Indian subsidiary है, जो wholly owned subsidiary है. In that case, the EGM can be held in India or outside India. So they have written that the meeting can be held outside India. So it can be held outside India, and also if they want, they can keep it in India as well, no problem. Okay, that is section number 100. 100 में और भी कुछ है, rule 17 आपने पढ़ा था, rule 17 you can go through. So all these things also we have done. Okay. Let's go to the next area, that is section number 101. Let's see notice. Notice का अपने big area क्या था? Notice का you have the chart with you. एक बार अच्छे से go through करो मेरे साथ यहाँ पे. Okay. Say with me. The company in the notice should mention the date, time, place, shipment of business under the authorization of director. Company will send the notice to mad person, member, deceased member, legal representative, installed member, the assignee, to the auditor, director, others. Company will send the notice in writing, or company will send the notice in electronic mode. Electronic mode से अगर भेज रहे तो they have to comply with the rule 18. Rule 18 में अगर वो कंप्लाइन कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे तो company has to take the email ID which is registered with the depository or which is changed with the depository. Company will also give an advance opportunity once a year to update the email ID. कंपनी उसे मेंशन करेगी यहाँ पे तनु में आएगा, कंपनी कैन मेंशन द डिटेल्स ऑफ द नोटिस बाय टेक्स्ट, attachment, notification by electronic link, or URL, that is uniform resource locator. Company will also place a website. Company will also place a notice on the website of the company, if any, or any website that is notified by the central government. Company has to send the notice 21 clear days in advance. Clear days का मतलब है 1 day of posting, 2 days of transit, 21 clear days, and 1 day of meeting. If the company sends a shorter notice, in that case, they have said that in the case of AGM, 95% of members should give the approval. And in the case of any other meeting, that is in the case of EGM, let's say, if you have to see whether the company has share capital or does not have share capital. If the company has share capital, majority number having 95% of the paid capital. If the company does not have share capital, 95% of the total voting power. If there is any accidental omission, कि अगर आपने किसी member को गलती से भेजना भूल गया, so then still the meeting will be valid. If it is a deliberately designed omission, then the meeting will be invalid. The onus is on the company to prove that it was a accidental omission and not a deliberately designed omission, that the company has to prove in the court. Simple. Okay. That is 101. 102 we had done a very nice big area, that is basically this. 102 अपना ये था. उसके पहले अपन ये देखते हैं. पहले इसमें आएगा यहाँ पे what is ordinary business, what is special business. Ordinary business में आएगा फिर दीदी ऑडिट चलाई. Financial statements and reports approval, dividend declaration, director's appointment in the case of reappointment, and auditor's appointment and remuneration are all part of your ordinary business. Anything other than this is called special business. अगर कंपनी कोई भी स्पेशल बिजनेस के मैटर के लिए, सो कंपनी अगर कोई भी यहाँ पे स्पेशल बिजनेस के मैटर के लिए, अगर कंपनी यहाँ पे कोई भी स्पेशल बिजनेस मैटर के लिए अगर एक्सप्लेनेटरी स्टेटमेंट दे रही है, जो उनको देनी चाहिए, then if the director, manager, KMP or their relatives are having any interest in the company financially or otherwise, then that fact should be mentioned in the explanatory statement. Plus any other information to understand the meaning, scope and implication of the transaction that should be mentioned in the explanatory statement. If the company promoter, director, manager, KMP is holding 2% or more interest in the company or in the any other company with which our company is doing any kind of transaction, then we have to mention that fact in the explanatory statement. The place and time where the members can inspect the document related to the special business, that place and time we have to provide. Any non-disclosure or insufficient disclosure, if it is there, then we have to hold the benefit in trust of the company. The details should be mentioned. You have to, if any penalty is there under the Companies Act or any other law in India, then that penalty will also come. And plus there is a penalty of 50,000 rupees, or ये और है and not two, 50,000 rupees or 5 times of the benefit, whichever is higher. Okay, that is what we had done. Basically, this is your 102. Let's go to section number 103. 103 is a superb section. We had done this. I'll show you this chart. दोनों chart same here, so you can use any. I'll show you this because I think for your batch we had used this chart to teach you. Okay, please here. Now we are doing something called as quorum. Quorum में क्या होता? सर अगर यहाँ पे अगर मीटिंग कंडक्ट करना तो मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ मेंबर्स कितने चाहिए मीटिंग कंडक्ट करने के लिए? दैट इज कॉल्ड quorum. If the AOA gives a higher number, then the higher number will be deemed to be the quorum. Okay. If the AOA is silent, or if the AOA gives a lower number, or if the AOA gives an equal number, in that case for a public company, quorum will be, for a public company, quorum will be, if the number of members are up to 1000, then 5 members personally present, more than 1000 up to 5000, 15 members personally present, more than 5000, 5000, 30 members personally present. If it's a private company, they have said 2 members personally present. Simple. आगे अगर 112 113 के केस में अगर कोई representative आता, then representative will be deemed to be a member. Okay, आगे will be not deemed to be a member, he'll be treated as if he's a member. अगर कंपनी का मीटिंग डेट है where we are calling the meeting, and on that date if the quorum is not present, okay, not present within half an hour, quorum अगर आधे घंटे में नहीं होता, then the meeting will be adjourned to the same time, same place, same day in the next week, or as decided by the board of directors. सर अगर अर्जेंट मीटिंग में भी अगर quorum नहीं है, then the members who are present shall be deemed to be the quorum. Sir, which meeting can be adjourned? You can adjourn the AGM, you can adjourn the EGM, which is called by board of directors, but you can never adjourn the EGM, which is called by the requisitionist. Requisitionist का अगर EGM अगर उस मीटिंग में अगर quorum नहीं है, then the meeting will get cancelled. Okay, that you have to remember here. Okay, that is section number 103. 103 के केस में बहुत सारे complications हो सकते हैं. यहाँ पे you have to go through the past questions which are there, and one of the questions I'm planning to put in your prelim paper also, which will be a slightly tricky one. So please do it properly. तो ये जो कोरम का क्वेश्चन है, डू इट वेरी 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 नाइसली. ओके, एग्जाम में काफी बार आ चुका. लेट्स डू 104. 104 talks about the chairman of the meeting. Very simple था. Sir, the company members will by show of hand appoint the chairman of the meeting. But if any person is not happy with the chairman, then can they demand for a poll? The answer is yes. So they can demand for a poll, and by polling process, whoever wins will become the new chairman of the meeting. The chairman of the meeting, whoever it is, has to maintain complete impartiality. They should be having an unbiased approach. They should be doing the voting and all the procedures in the meeting in a very fair manner. If there is equality of votes among the members, in that case, we'll check the AOA. AOA में अगर ऐसा लिखा है यहाँ पे कि अगर equality of votes है, then the chairman of the meeting will get a casting vote. Casting vote होता है second vote अगर मिल गया उनको यहाँ पे. In that case, the chairman can exercise his casting vote, and wherever he votes, then that side will win. That is basically if he has voted in favor, then votes in favor will be more than votes against, then ordinary resolution will be passed. And if he says against, then in that case ordinary resolution will not be passed. Suppose अगर equality of votes होता, and we take out the AOA of the company. Now in that case, if we take out the AOA of the company, and in that case, if it is nothing is written regarding the chairman's casting vote, in that case, because there is equality of votes, the resolution will be dropped. Because remember, for ordinary resolution, special resolution, the voting for ordinary resolution, especially the voting requirement is votes in favor should be more than votes against. That you have to remember. Okay, that is section 104. Then we have done section number 105. So yeah, 105. This we have done the chart, and this chart on the face of it looks complicated. Very easy. If you have sat in the class, then this chart will not be a problem. This will be very easy for you. Okay, let's do it. Please here. If the company is not having share capital, then it is the AOA should clearly mention that the members can appoint a proxy. If the AOA doesn't mention, then you cannot appoint a proxy. So, if company is not having a share capital, then normally company members cannot appoint a proxy. But if the AOA says that members can appoint a proxy, then you can appoint a proxy. CG, if it has prescribed certain class of companies that those companies members cannot appoint a proxy, then they cannot appoint a proxy. The proxy has no right to speak. He has only the right to attend and vote, and only if poll is demanded. Any member who is entitled to attend and vote, that member is also entitled to appoint the proxy by filling a form called NVT 11. In the notice of the meeting, we have to mention that the member may appoint a proxy and the proxy cannot be a member. Failure to state that a member and the proxy need not be a member, the officer of the company will be liable to a fine up to rupees 5,000. A proxy can be a proxy for how many members? For maximum 50 members holding up to 10% of the total share capital of the company. If there is any member who is holding more than 10%, then can he appoint a proxy? The answer is yes. But that proxy cannot be a proxy for any other member. The member has to appoint a proxy 48 hours before the meeting. Any member who wishes to inspect the register of proxies has to give a notice to the company at least 3 days before the meeting, and 3 days before the meeting. And he will be allowed to inspect the register of proxies 24 hours before the meeting and during the meeting. If the company doesn't allow inspection, then the penalty is 10,000 rupees plus 1,000 rupees per day. If the invitation to the proxy is sent at the company's expense, then in that case, the officer who is involved will be liable to a fine of 50,000. There are three penalties in this section. That is this AER, that is for failure to state that proxy not be a member. And if inspection is not allowed, then the penalty is here. And then you have this, if invitation is sent to the proxy at company's expense, that is basically the fine is here. All these three fines are compoundable. So the offenses in this section are compoundable, means settlement is possible. Okay. Let's go further. That is your proxy. That is 105. 106, very, very simple, very, very controllable section, very simple. Sir, if there is cause in areas of any member, and if the AOA clearly mentions that we can restrict the voting rights of that member, then can the company restrict the voting rights of such a member? The answer is yes. This member cannot even sign the requisition also. If a member has many shares in the company, can he vote in a different manner with different shares? The answer is yes, he can. So वही लिखा है यहाँ पे, a member is entitled to more than one vote. More than one vote need not use all his vote or cast his vote in the same way, all the votes he uses. So if a member has more than one vote, he need not use all his votes or cast his votes in the same way, all the votes he uses. Okay. That completes our 106. 107 में आ जाओ, default way of voting, that is show of hands. Normally the voting will be done by show of hands. And if someone demands for a poll, then polling process होगा, नहीं तो show of hands will be the final way to vote. Let's go further. Now we are doing 108. 108 is basically in relation to your electronic voting. Electronic voting, we have done this chart, and we'll do it start to end properly. Try to be with me because this chart is a pretty big one. Companies which are listed companies and companies which are having members which are 1,000 or more, you have to conduct the voting by electronic means. Company in the notice will mention that the business to be transacted can be done by electronic voting. Electronic means अगर आप vote कर रहे हो, then you can attend the meeting, you cannot vote again. तो आप मीटिंग में आके मीटिंग में आ सकते हो, लेकिन आप फिर से आके वोट नहीं कर सकते. अगर आपने ई वोटिंग यूज नहीं किया, if you are not using electronic means, then in that case you can come to the meeting and vote by Pobel you know very well as polling paper ballot electronic means. The company will provide the process and manner of voting. Company will provide the time schedule, that is the cut-off date, commencement of e-voting and end of e-voting. We will also provide the login ID and the manner of generating the password. This also will provide. Company will send the notice by speed post, registered post, electronic means courier to members, auditors, directors. Company will give an ad in 2 newspapers 21 days before the meeting. In that also we'll mention the same point which we shared in the notice. At 126 we'll share the same points. We'll also mention that if there is any grievance, then Pandeyji will help you. Pandeyji, as you know, is very well is phone number, address, name, date of birth, and phone number, address, name, designation, email ID. Okay, that is Pandey. Beyond the said date and time, if a person has voted, then that vote will not be considered valid. And we'll consider which members here, members whose names are there in the bureau register, or the members whose names are there in the members register. The company will also place a notice on the website of the company, if any, or any website of the agency. The electronic voting will be open for the company has to provide a electronic voting period, which is open for minimum 3 working days. People, when they vote, they cannot change their vote or they cannot vote again. The voting will be closed at 5 p.m. on the previous day of the meeting, and it will be blocked. Block means you cannot vote after that 5 p.m. is done. The voting will be blocked after remote e-voting and also general meeting e-voting when the people come to the meeting, and if the company has made the arrangement of e-voting at the general meeting also, that will also be blocked after the voting is done. To count the votes, we'll have a scrutinizer or the assistant. The scrutinizer or the assistant will be who? Scrutinizer is Mr. Khair Fateva. He has to be a CA or Kaushal accountant or CS or an advocate or a person of reputation but not employed with the company, a person who is fair and transparent, a person who is not employed with the company, a person who is willing, and a person who is available. Assistant kon hoga, a person, assistant will be a SAG assistant. He should be well versed with electronic voting system and he should not be employed with the company. The chairman has to access the details and conduct POBEL. POBEL mein aayega polling paper, ballot, electronic means. Next was that if the votes are unblocked, they should be unblocked in the presence of 2 witnesses, and in maximum 3 days we should make the scrutinizer's report. The scrutinizer will maintain a register which will contain the details of NAFI Nodi, that is name, address, folio number, ID of client, number of shares held, nominal value of each shares, and whether shares have any differential rights. The scrutinizer will have the safe custody of the register. The results will be placed on the website of the company, if any, or any website of any agency. If it is the case of listed company, then in that case, the stock exchange website should also show the results of the votes. Date of resolution will be considered as the date of the general meeting, and resolution will not be withdrawn. Simple. That is basically what they're trying to say in 109. Sorry, 108. 109 is something that we did. We have a very nice section called as demand for poll. We had done an activity in the class, if you remember. Let's start. On or before the declaration of results by show of hands, poll can be demanded. So poll can be demanded by who? By the chairman of the meeting or any specified members. If the company is having share capital, members should hold 1/10 of the total voting power or minimum 5 lakh of the paid capital minimum. If the company is not having share capital, then the members should hold 1/10 of the total voting power. In this case, we have done something called a RAPS, if you remember. That is the scrutinizer will get the access to register of members, attendant details, proxies register, signature specimen of each of the members and proxies. And finally, you will have section 105 proxy details and then 112, 113, that is representation details. The scrutinizer will get. Scrutinizer has to conduct the polling process properly. And remember in the class, I had put a bag in the class and we had done the activity. So you have to understand, we have to lock and seal an empty polling box. Polling paper will be distributed under form MGD 12. Distribute the polling papers to the members. And electronically, if we are conducting it, then in that case, electronic support has to be provided. Okay. After that, you have to keep the record of the polling paper by initialing it. If there is any ambiguity of proxy, then in that case, the chairman will decide what to do, whether to accept the vote or not to accept the vote. If the member has already voted, then the proxy cannot vote. We will count the votes and prepare a report in a form called MGT 13. The report will be given to the chairman with the total votes cast, votes in favor, votes against. Sorry, total votes cast, valid votes, invalid votes, valid votes, votes in favor, votes against. The chairman shall countersign the same and he will declare the results. The results will be declared that will be announced by him or a person authorized by him. Finally, we have to comply with section number 109, read with section number 20, read with rule number 21. Okay, that is how it is given in this case. That is your section number 109. Finally, we have section number 110, that is your postal ballot. देखते हैं इसको अच्छे से. Postal ballot की जो matter दिया पहले दिया वो यहाँ पे 222 bells करके. Okay. 222 bells क्या है यहाँ पे? Alteration in the MOA in relation to the object clause, alteration in the AOA in relation to private company, change in the ratio office outside the city town or village, change in the object for which the money was raised. Differential rights under section number 43, variation of rights under section number 48, buyback under section number 68, subsection number 1, election of SHD under section number 151, loans, guarantee and security exceeding limits of section number 86, subsection number 3. 186 subsection number 3, I'm sorry, 186 subsection number 3. And seal of undertaking का अगर decision लेना है under section number 180 subsection number 1 clause A. That is basically covered in this part. For these matters, we will be conducting something called as postal ballot. Company will send the notice to the members along with the draft resolution, reasons, and the request to assent or dissent. We will send this by speed post, registered post, electronic means courier to the shareholders. The shareholders will reply within 30 days from the date of dispatch of notice. If late, then treat it as if the reply is not received. The company will give ad in 2 newspapers, English language ad, English newspaper, vernacular language ad, vernacular newspaper. Company will cover some matters regarding the postal ballot. They'll cover the business to be transacted by postal ballot. They'll mention that. They'll provide the completion of the dispatch of notice कब हुआ था, that is a C. they'll mention the commencement of voting and they'll mention the end of voting. If the voting is invalid, the vote will not be counted. If the member requests for a duplicate copy so that he can vote, then can he be given a duplicate copy? The answer is yes. And if there is any grievance, then you have to provide the details of a person who will solve all your grievances. To count the votes, we'll appoint Mr. Fateva, that is the scrutinizer. Remember, it is the same person who is the care Fateva. Here, just that they're given Fateva. What is Fateva? A person who is fair and transparent, person who is not employed with the company, person who is willing, and person who is available. Mr. Care Fateva, whoever is the scrutinizer, will keep all the votes in safe custody and ensure that there is no defacing of the votes, no destruction of the vote, nothing should be destroyed. And shareholder's identity is not declared. Care Fateva will maintain a register that is the same NAFI Nodi, and he will maintain a report as soon as possible up to maximum 7 days. The register and the report which is there will be given to the chairman. Chairman Mr. Qasim. Qasim is nothing but your consider, approve, sign the minutes. And finally, that the report which is there will be placed on the website of the company. Okay, that is how the section flows. This is basically your section number 110 that we have done in the class. Everyone, please tell me very, very